It's Indy Sooner here. Um, Welcome to the channel. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the family. So this is my first episode. I'm excited, man. Let me tell you what, it's been a long time coming. I've really been someone who has been inspired, by the R.J. Youngs of the world. Even the Mr. McIntoshes, the Sooner Gridirons, Tattoo Bakers of the world, Sooner content creators, especially some of those who have started bigger platforms on YouTube. I've always been a very intuitive guy, analytical guy. Love to talk stats, love to talk um, deep, in-depth things within the sport of football, especially when it comes to Oklahoma. Something my parents said that I've done since a young age, and so my passion is that, and it's not what I do for a living, but it's something that I uh, you could say was a dream of mine. I'm currently an athletic director. Love what I do. Love the kids. It's my first year, so I'm still learning and growing. But that's always something I really wanted to do for my career. But I made the Indy Sooner Twitter account. About a year and a half ago, it's something I branched out on. I prayed about, and I decided, why not jump into this thing? And my boy Monty Cisco, you can follow him on Twitter. He started up this thing called the uh, Sooner Follow Train, and what that does, it kind of Sooner Nation runs through, and within what maybe 13, 14 hours, I went from like 100 followers to 650, like that. And then I just started to post content, started to post my opinions, argue back and forth with Texas fans, which is why I created that kind of first place. It was getting on my nerves. What's new? But for real, the support has been crazy. I've done some TikTok videos where I danced. Those were fun, about recruits. Not saying I put those away for good. I may have one or two left in the tank. But I was thinking, man, what would it be like to get on YouTube? And then me and my buddy Opie, who actually is over at ORU right now. They're going on their big Sweet 16 run playing Arkansas. So shouts out to him. But he was my college roommate, and we decided during quarantine to start a podcast called The Irish Sooner, which we will still be doing. Please look out for that. Go subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to that podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, or SoundCloud. We haven't done an episode in quite a long time. Get to that in a second. But we'll be doing a draft episode here shortly before the draft happens. So be on the lookout for that. But he's a Notre Dame fan, lifelong Notre Dame fan. So we said, man, let's do a college football podcast together. It'll be fun. Even if nobody listens, it'll be a good time. And we got some listeners. Got a solid fan base. Got a couple hundred followers on Twitter. Got to have Ryan Harris, who used to play for Notre Dame, used to play linebacker for them, and is a Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 50 specifically. We got to have him on the podcast. I'm trying to get a couple other Sooners on the podcast. I'm not going to name names. But that's just something that, like I said, has been fun and has kind of even led to what we're doing now on the Indy Sooner YouTube channel. So I'm just going to explain what we'll be doing typically, and then we're going to hop right into today's video. So ideally, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to share my opinions on certain things, certain topics. Right now, we're going to be going through one offensive group and one defensive group per week up until the spring game on April 24th. And so, I'll be kind of diving in depth on that. You can look forward to me talking about, maybe a couple bigger stories. Now, if something pops up, I may make an emergency post on it, right? But, I'm going to have my topics that I plan on talking about once a week or maybe twice a week. Like I said, I'm busy. I'm AD. I'd love to do it every day, but that's just impossible and not healthy. But that's ideally how it's going to work out. I'm going to be very engaged with my comment section, looking for ideas, looking for any thoughts that you guys have. Maybe in the future, in the summer, when I have a little more time, maybe we can do some live streams and stuff like that, and that's going to be pretty fun. But yeah, keep it respectful in the comment section. That's what I would always say. If not, you'll get booted. We ain't got no time for negativity around here. Always trying to stay positive. And, I'd be remiss not to say, this is all thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I am a Christ follower. I like to conduct myself that way. That's how I'm going to conduct myself on the channel. It seeps into every part of my life. And so this is that as well. And so, you're not going to hear me say anything crazy. Like I said, I may go off on a Texas fan, but I'm never going to slander somebody or say something so disrespectful or cross about somebody. Like I said, I argue with the best of them, right? If you're not gonna be straight up and you talking some garbage, I can talk it back with you. I ain't got no problem with that, right? I got no problem putting in your place. But like I said, I don't get personal. A lot of the Texas fans I don't love on Twitter, or that we go back and forth with. It's never personal. If they have something personal going on, man, I'm praying for them. I want the best for them, for real, genuinely. And so, I just hope to be authentic through that. Hopefully, you guys can sense that authenticity. And yeah, let's without further ado, I talk too much. So I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. I'm a talker. I can go around in circles. Y'all probably go in on me on the comment section about that. But we're gonna get right into our video topic for today, which is going to be the linebackers of the University of Oklahoma. So, like I said, we're gonna be going through each group, right? Offense and defense every week until spring game, and I'm excited more than probably I've been since maybe 2017 about the Sooners. Now, even 2017, we're thinking we lost who we lose? We lost. Oh yeah, we lost Didi. We lost Joe Mixon. We lost Samaje P. Ryan. Okay, like who's thinking that OU's just gonna reload? And again, we reload. We get that, but I'm saying at the time it was Lincoln Riley's third year, which that's great, but then it was gonna be his first year as a head coach. What's going on? Baker goes on to have a historic season. We all know how that season ends. Paying for Rose Bowl loss. I don't even want to bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. I'll get sad. I don't want to do it. But I've been not this excited since maybe 2011. When we were preseason number one, we had Landry, we had the Land Sharks on defense, Travis Lewis, Tony Jefferson, Geno Grissom, I think, was on that team. That's not who I'm talking about. Frank Alexander, not Geno Grissom. Shout out to you though, Geno. But man, that defense, right? We were like, man, they're world beaters, right? And so I think this is the first time in a while OU fans are so excited about the defense, like it's not even a joke. And so what I have held the position on since the season ended was that I think the linebacker core is the weakest link on the defense. Now, I'm not saying that they're weak. That's by any stretch of imagination. It's still a strong unit, which again is saying something for how the fact I think they're the weakest unit for how I think this year is probably going to go for OU. But with that being said, let's just dive right into it. So the resident old men in the group, we got Brian Mead and we got Caleb Kelly, right? Now, Caleb Kelly, this man is somebody who, this is his 6th year. He's been through so much adversity. He's had a couple season-ending surgeries twice. He was a 5-star recruit at Fresno. Was really had high hopes for him. Obviously, I think he just couldn't find a home in Mike Stoops' defense, which again, we'll save that for another episode because I could probably talk an hour and a half on that. But again, he never really reached his full potential. We saw flashes, right? You can think back to the 2017 championship game where he picked up the fumble, ran it back for a touchdown pretty early. You can think of the 2018 West Virginia game, which I was at, right, where he sacks Will Greer, has him on the left arm, reaches his right arm around, pops the ball out, and then he runs it back for a touchdown. Just different plays like that. Even in going back to his freshman year in the Sugar Bowl against Auburn, he had a couple big time plays that said, "Man, this guy's going to be pretty good." Um, Last year, again, like I said, he unfortunately wasn't able to go, and even the year before, the first year, he only got the last 4 games in because he was coming back from an injury then, and so we're hoping, praying that he stays healthy through this spring, through this summer, and through this fall camp, so that he can actually get on the field. We think he can actually do a lot of damage. I would imagine Grinch is probably going to obviously work him back and forth between inside linebacker, but also probably stunt him a lot, blitzing on the outside. I can imagine that, and it's just the guy has an uncanny ability to rush the quarterback, right? And that's been his biggest strength. He's been okay in coverage, and he's a decent cover linebacker. But where he's been at his best is getting after the quarterback. His run fits are okay as well, but again, where he's been at his best is rushing. And so, you want to say, let's just put him at rush in. Nick Benito has something to say about that. That's all I'm saying. And it's hard whether we're going to talk about him as a linebacker, defensive lineman. I'm going to leave him for the defensive lineman group, which, okay, let me not get ahead of myself. Anyways, Caleb Kelly, great dude, man. I mean, have hardly heard a bad thing about him from publicity wise, at least on social media. Everything's great. Stand up guy. We just hope that he can continue to perform for us and do the right things this year. I think my most underrated linebacker prospect, if I'm going to be real, is Brian Asamoah. Now, he came on pretty strong last year, especially in the Florida game. He looks the part. He looks like another Kenneth Murray, right? And I think it's starting to click for him. I think you can kind of see that the last couple games, again, especially in the Florida games. Everyone says against their scout team. Whatever. We don't subscribe to that over here. Man, if that dude can get it, okay, even a little bit like Kenneth, I mean, his athleticism off the charts. I remember there's one picture, I wish I could put it in here, that somebody took. He jumped up. I think it was after, not his pick, but somebody else's pick, maybe. Maybe it was after Trey Norwood's pick six, where he jumped up and his vertical leap, I mean, you're probably thinking it's at least 37. Right, and he brought his feet up a little bit, but you could tell that man's got hops. Not only does he have hops, he's twitchy, he's fast, he's quick, he shoots out like a cannon. Especially when he sees a hole he can bust through, go make a tackle for loss. That's his game, right? And so where he can grow, obviously, is his coverage skills, and obviously being a better blitzer of the quarterback. But again, he just has to get it. I think once he gets it, dude, right? So I'm excited for that. And that's kind of going over the inside linebacker positions as far as maybe who may be there. Like I said, Caleb Kelly, Brian Asamoah, Brian Mead, who's been there 8 years, and is just a guy who has worked hard to get where he's at. Like I know not everybody loves Brian Mead all the time. Why is he still playing? Man, that man has worked his butt off to get where he's at. Okay, if Alex Grinch thinks he should be out there, let him be out there. He's proven himself. I'm cool with that. It's great to have a 7th year senior for depth. Okay, I'm never going to complain about that. Now, obviously, we want to do the right thing. I know there's one game in particular, was it Kansas State maybe, where he kind of lost somebody in coverage. Maybe it was Deuce Vaughn. I had to go back and look at it, but it was pretty egregious, and Sooner Twitter was not happy about it. Now, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, right? Now, I'm just looking up measurements, just the most recent measurements, just to make sure we're all on the same page, because this is some exciting stuff. My personal breakout candidate for the entire defense, and again, the inside linebacking core and outside linebacking core, but most of the inside linebacking core, I would have considered weakest link, but that's neither here nor there. You could say weakest link, it doesn't mean anything. So, matter of fact, just block that out of your brain. Forget I even said it. Okay. And I haven't even gotten to Deshaun White yet, y'all. My bad. I'm gonna come back to it. Don't worry. David Iguebu, dog, dog. That man is about to be a monster this year. Well, you see 6'4", 250, right? And he's gonna be playing inside linebacker, dog. Like we thought he was gonna be outside. We thought he was gonna be playing the jack, getting upfield. Nah, dog. He's instinctual. Everybody remembers Bedlam this year. Okay, that man engaging. Okay, from the inside linebacker position, engaging. Okay, the guard, swimming outside, re-engaging the tackle, having his hand up, swatting Spencer Sanders' pass in the air, turning around, having the presence of mind to find it, catch it, right? Turnover city. I mean, the instincts that guy has is ridiculous. And not only that, just the measurables. I mean, 6'4", 250, and he looks the part, dog. I mean, he honestly, low key, he looks like a defensive tackle playing linebacker. And he moves like a line. Like, it's scary. I remember against Florida, there was a swing pass. I don't know if it was Emory Jones or if it was Kyle Trask that threw it. Doesn't matter. But there's a swing pass out to the running back, and my man keyed on it, was running. He blew that either slot wide receiver or extra fullback up. He blew him up, got him off the ball, and then tackled the dude 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He manhandled him, picked him up like he was a baby. I mean, can you imagine having that at the inside linebacker position? That athleticism, the size, and the speed. Speed D, right? Speed D all day. It's ridiculous. And again, like I said, this is what some people would say has the most work or least amount of depth. We'll say that instead of weakest link, we'll say least amount of depth, right? Yo, no, nothing else needs to be said. Okay, Deshaun White. Man, I think he has a lot left to be desired. And he's been great, right? He's had a great career. There's nothing against him. I just think specifically when we think about Brian Odom's quote, his first year there 2 years ago, he said Deshaun White is the most instinctual linebacker I've ever coached. And that might be well and true. And I think everybody agrees. But Deshaun White has kind of seemed like eh, you know. And when I say I just mean like he does his job, right? And he does it, and that's great. That's great. He just hasn't seemed to pop off. I think that's what I would say is he's not popping off as like, oh, he's somebody we're super excited about, somebody we expect all these things from, right? We talked about Uguebu. We even talked about Asamoah a little bit, right? Deshaun White has been solid, and maybe there's a piece of it I'm missing as far as if he has the middle linebacker capabilities and he's being the quarterback of the defense. As far as I understood it, that was more Patrick Fields' job last year, but I could be wrong, right? One thing you learn about me, I'm human. I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect. I'm not gonna act like I have the rundown everything because I don't. I live in Indianapolis. I'm a Sooner fan. Yes, I have some plugs. I have some inside information. Whatever, right? But I'm not gonna act like I know everything because I don't. And y'all feel free to correct me in the comment section. Okay, we're a family here. Let's be honest with each other. Um, and that's kind of the what we call the inside linebacker crew. Now the thing is, guys, the way the linebacker position is going to work at OU, you'll have a lot of intermingling. Okay, so there's a couple guys that can do both. Like Aguebu could do both, but he's going to play a lot of inside linebacker. Here's another kid that can do both, and like I said, I'm not sure how they're going to label him. On here they don't have Benito listed as a linebacker, but Shane Whittier, you remember him? 3-star from North Carolina. He had a lot of traction from people that follow Sooner recruiting, but if you really don't, you'd be like, oh, it's a 3-star. We'll see. Maybe he's a project. We'll see how it pans out. Bruh, not only does he already look the part, like he's built, right? That man is physical. Like, I think man, I wish I had my memory better now. I'm recording this video late at night. It's the only time I can do it right now today. Um, so y'all have to forgive me. But this man, in one of these games this year, quarterback was running. It might have been TCU, might have been Max Duggan, running, trying to get 2 or 3 yards, I think. Um, I believe Perrion Winfrey hit him low. Shane Whittier came over the top, shoulder to shoulder, right? Clean hit. Laid the boom on him, bro. I mean, just sat him down. And I'm like, dog, we've been missing that physicality, right? We've all seen, right, and remembered and had to suffer through the Mike Stoops defenses where somebody would hit a hole hard and miss somebody, or just not even go after him, not be physical. Man, he was shot out of a cannon, ready to knock somebody's head off. Okay, and he's physical, and he's rangy. Okay, he had a couple of plays this year where he almost had interceptions just from dropping back. Not only that, he's primed to take Nick Benito's position. So, like I said, the linebacker position is hybrids. They're hybrids almost everywhere. And I haven't even got to Joseph Wette. Ooh, that's another one that's been waiting in the weeds. He's been waiting in the weeds, okay? And he hasn't, kind of popped off like his partner David Ugwebu, again, who he's kind of helped himself get more position and playing time by switching to the inside linebacker role. And in doing that, he got more playing time and proved himself on the field and that he can be used in a variety of ways and that he's just a monster. Okay, so Joseph Wette, though, I mean, he's got the size as well, 6'4", 226, and it reminds me a lot of Clayton Smith, who, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, you talk about depth. You talk about depth, dog. Like, it's just, and again, I may just save him for the DL, defensive lineman group, with Nick Benito. Like I said, Shane Whittier seemed to be the heir apparent to him. Clayton Smith, like I said, might have something to say about that one. He might have something to say about that one. But Joseph Wette is somebody who came in looking to make a big impact. Again, I'm pretty sure he got hurt his freshman year. You can correct me on that. Thought he broke his leg. Again, if I'm wrong on that, correct me please in the comment section. But moving forward, he got a little bit of playing time last year, redshirted, and then this year, he's looking to be a redshirt sophomore. This is his third year, right? This is the year he's looking to bump it up, and we love the quote that Alex Grinch gave the other day, where he basically said, we're not doing handouts out here, right? Like there's been this culture at Oklahoma where you just gotta wait your turn and you're just gonna sit and wait and be okay with that. And again, we talk about places like Bama and Clemson, wherever else that has these historically good defenses for the most part. Obviously Bama slipped in the last couple of years, but places where you go and you have to wait your turn, right? Historically, the only difference there is that the standard was set that even though you have to wait your turn, you're not practicing like that. You're giving your all. You're pushing these juniors, these seniors, even if you're a true freshman. Because if you're good enough, they're going to put you out there. And that's what builds that competition so that by the time the freshmen or junior seniors, I mean, they're beasts, right? And just waiting in the wings. Not like they're not fresh babies that are like, oh my gosh, it's my time to play. Like, I haven't been paying attention the last 2.5 years. Like, nah. Like, and that's what Grinch is saying. Like, it's not, the time for that is over, dog. Like, you don't get a guaranteed spot. You don't bring your A game, you're out of here, right? You're gonna be on the bench. You have to have a problem if you're not playing. You gotta be competitive. And he's not saying that so that people just transfer out, right? But he's saying he was trying to build a culture of accountability, right? A culture of holding people to the standards that they set, right? And the standard that is OU. Like, we're a blue blood. The defense has not been up to where it needs to be, and that's why. We had to change that stigma, and Grinch has done an amazing job at doing that. Like I said, I can talk in circles sometimes, but getting back to my original point, Wette seems to be somebody who's primed and ready to get some playing time this year, and I hope he does the best that he can with it. So that kind of covers the linebacking position. Um, I'm really excited to see how they're going to take off this year. Like I said, I think they are lacking in depth a little bit, but I mean, the guys that we have there are going to be good, right? I mean, you talk about Caleb Kelly, you talk about Brian Asamoah, David Ugwebu, Deshaun White, the inside linebacker position. Okay, those two deeps that's an amazing two deep, right? Okay, and then that's when we talk about depth, like 3-4. That's when it's iffy. Like you look at maybe a position that we'll get to later, like cornerback, where you have a bunch of guys, Justin Harrington, you have DJ Graham, you have Jaden Davis, you have Joshua Eaton, you have Woody Washington, right? You have a guys that you feel like you could go 3-4 deep at each corner position, right? That's a different conversation. Um, it's not necessarily the same in the inside linebacker group, and that's okay. I think hopefully if everybody stays healthy, that two deep is going to be enough. And then you have Brian Mead bringing in that experience in the inside linebacker position as well. And then on the outside linebacker position, like I said, you may have may go a Kelly on the outside, Iguebu and Deshaun White, or Asamoah on the outside, Iguebu, Deshaun White, or any mix of those as the three, and then you obviously got the jack linebacker, which again we'll just say for the defensive lineman group. But again, guys, I'm more than excited for what this group has to offer and what's coming up. You guys should be too. I've said this, and I said this on the Irish Shooter podcast. I've said this since last year. This is the year, right? I told my buddy Opie, yo, 2020, like, sure, it'd be great if we get to the playoffs. Sure, it'd be great if we win another Big 12 championship, which we did, by the way. And that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 in Lincoln Riley's career, which is one more than Texas has all time. Just throwing that in there. But like I was saying, we won the Big 12. That was kind of expected, kind of not expected. People maybe expect us to have a drop off. I wasn't expecting us to make the playoff. Even though we were playing well at the end, I'm fine with what we did. We built momentum. We did a good thing. But this year, it's time, baby. Right? You got Spencer Rattler in his second year, who had a great first year. You got a good offensive line. You lose Creed Humphrey, but you got to replace him with Chris Murray, who 4-star consensus at a high school, play UCLA, started maybe 18, 19 games right there. Was good. Just looked for a better opportunity. He was starting. He just left. Right? You got Marquise Hayes. You got Tyrese Robinson at the guard positions. You got the tackles position now solidified with the Wanya Morris transfer. We'll get to that. I promise. Promise we'll get to offensive line, right? And then maybe Anton Harrison or Eric Swinson on the right tackle to bolster that, right? You're loaded at wide receiver. Oh my gosh, you're loaded at wide receiver. It's ridiculous. I don't think people understand how loaded we are. Okay, running backs. Okay, you got the Eric Gray transfer. Kenny Brooks is coming back. You still got Seth McGowan, Marcus Major. Okay, I mean, insane, right? And we didn't even hit the tight end position. Austin Stockton, right? Mikey Henderson, bro. Mikey freaking Henderson. Jeremiah Hall, right? That's just to name a few. Defensively, we're loaded. Okay, again, we haven't had this much talent in a minute, and we're going into year 3 of Alex Grinch. Year 1, we went from the 118th worst defense to the 50th, around 50s, and then last year we were a top 20 defense and top 5 in defensive efficiency. Okay, this is year 3. Okay, and you got a lot of people returning, and then you're infusing some young talent in there. 3rd year, this is it. We know what Lincoln Riley's going to do. We know what his offense is going to do. It's going to look a lot more like the Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, maybe more Baker Mayfield than Kyler Murray because Spencer Rattler's not quick like that. But I digress. The offenses were still amazing in Baker's years. Okay, even if you want to talk about Kyler had better athleticism and presented a different dynamic, that's fine. But we're talking bombs away, deep passes all day. Every day, it's going to be raining hell on the Big 12 and anybody we play this year. Because I don't know who you're going to guard. And we'll go over that more specifically in the wide receiver group. But, like I said, y'all, I'm grateful that you guys are here. Um, I will intro my story in the next segment. Definitely, obviously, want to spend some time on that, but we've been here a little bit. Okay, 30 minutes in the first episode, right? That's a little bit. That's a little bit of time. I'm trying to keep it shorter and shorter and shorter. Don't want you guys to have to watch, 45 minute videos, and then you gotta go about your day. Eventually, I'm gonna get good, be able to cut it to like 10-minute, 15-minute videos, etc. But hey, I do it big for the first one. Um, I'm Andy Sooner. You can call me JP. We family now. Call me JP. That's what everybody calls me. What my family calls me. Um, Love you guys. Appreciate you guys, especially my boys that came over from OU Twitter. Shout out to my boy Tattoo Baker, who gave me the awesome, dope logo that I have on the front. And I'm looking forward to this, man. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. I just hope that we can continue to grow. Please, again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Boomer.